I continue to feel these prophetic words for our nation, America, the United States, coming to me, and how the parallel of the prophetic voice of God coming from Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel chapter 4 and Donald Trump. God restored Donald Trump to greatness just like he did Nebuchadnezzar. Donald Trump humbled himself. But here it says at the end, in verse 4, verse 34, it says, "At the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up my eyes to heaven, and my reason returned to me, and I blessed the Most High." His reason returned to him. In verse 36, it says, 36, it says, "At the same time, my reason returned to me, and the glory of my kingdom, my majesty and splendor returned to me." This is the same thing that's happened with Donald Trump as with Nebuchadnezzar. He went through all these difficulties. God brought him through all these things. God humbled him and told him, "If you will be humbled." This is what he talked about in the prophetic voice that I have given, others have given about Donald Trump. And it parallels right with Nebuchadnezzar's story, that he lifted himself up above God, that he was so powerful. He was so arrogant in 2016. God brought him down. And through all these things, God has brought him to a place because he humbled himself. God has restored the kingdom. He has restored the position to Donald Trump as America's president. And I believe it's more so for God's glory than it is for Donald Trump's glory. And here he says, "My counselors and my Lord sought me." And that's exactly what's happening to Donald Trump. You look at this. All these people have partnered with Donald Trump. All these counselors and lords is just a person that's over someone, a leader. These people are being drawn to him. Even people that were considered a few months ago his enemy are being drawn to Donald Trump because Donald Trump, the hand of God, whether you like it or not, whether you like him or not, the hand of God is upon Donald Trump to bring this nation back into alignment. And God is going to use Donald Trump, is going to be used by the hand of God to bring this nation back into alignment with God. There's enough people. There's a remnant of God's people in this nation that have prayed and have sought God, that God will restore some normalness to this nation. All the wicked and sinful and evil things that's been brought about from the previous administration, it makes God sick to his stomach. And the people of God have cried out. And he has placed Donald Trump at this time for this purpose. And in the last part of the verse it says, "And those who walk in pride, he is able to humble." God humbled Donald Trump. He brought him through probably the most difficult thing. I had never seen in my life a man more attacked than Donald Trump. And he didn't come through it unscathed. No, he didn't. He was almost killed. All these things happened to him, but God restored him for such a time as this. And there's another prophecy that God's speaking to me about today morning. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but it goes into chapter 5. And my more concern is that the church will become asleep. And during this time, it's going to be a time of greatness for everyone financially and spiritual blessings this next 4 years. But the following 4 years, my concern, and I'll share more about that prophecy that God has given me, the future. The thing we have to do now is we have to stay on our knees. We have to continue to call out to God for God to move upon our behalf, for God to speak and to us to hear his voice and respond to him. That is what God's called us to. God has called us to a time as this to see a great harvest come into the kingdom of God. But it's up to us to grasp this and to continue to seek God's face and not to get in a place of laziness and just to lay back and relax now, since who we wanted in office got in office. God bless you.